Okay. So in this demo session, we are going to discuss about this Power Automate. Okay. So first understand what exactly the Power Automate is and what we can achieve from this Power Automate. Right. So this Power Automate is basically the product of the Power Platform. Remember this. Okay. This is product of Power Platform. Okay. This is one of the product you can say. So in the Power Platform, there are a lot of the products if you have seen so far. So that one is basically the Power Apps. Then we have Power Automate. Then we have Power BI. We have Power Virtual Agent. Okay. So all these are basically the product of this Power Platform. But now we are going to discuss about this Power Automate first of all. So if somebody asks you, do you know the Power Automate? So first of all, you should ask, okay, for which tool you are asking for into this Power Automate. The reason is that because in the Power Automate, there are the two different tools. One is basically the Power Automate Desktop, and second is Power Automate Cloud. So in this Power Automate, we have two different products. Okay. One is Power Automate Desktop and second is Power Automate Cloud. And in which scenario, which tool you should refer this one, we are going to discuss on this. And we will also discuss the few cases into this Power Automate Desktop and Power Automate Cloud. So Power Automate Desktop, if I talk about, so Power Automate Desktop, it is basically, it is RPA tool. Like you guys are aware from the UiPath, Blue Prism, Automation Anywhere, and many other RPA tools. So Power Automate Desktop is also a RPA tool and which is a product of the Microsoft. So Microsoft has launched this Power Platform. Under that, in that Power Automate Desktop tool is developed, which is having the complete RPA functionality. As you have worked on the UI path, so RPA has the same functionality that all the actions will be predefined and you have to drag and drop into the canvas and you can automate your process, right? The same thing is also available into this Power Automate Desktop that all the actions are predefined, only you have to drag and drop into the canvas and you have to automate your task, right? But most of the things you will see the different from the UI path. Okay. It's not like that you have work on the UI path, so you are able to work on the other tools and vice versa. Like for example, if you have work on the Blue Prism, you know the RBA concepts. But if I say you are aware from the Blue Prism, you have done the many automations on the Blue Prism, so you will be work on the UI path. So it's not like that because UI path has its own activities, functionalities, right? So which activity you have to drag into which kind of a scenarios, correct? Like one of the example, if I talk about the UI path, okay? So in the UI path, if you have to type something on the web page, if you have to type something on the web page, so which action basically you use? Anyone?
Type
Ty-
into.
Type into, correct?
Yes.
But the same thing, if I talk about in Power Automate Desktop, that I want to type something on the web page, like the username or the password. So in that case, we have the action as a populate. This one. So actions name are different. Okay. Actions name are completely different. But in the working activity, if I talk about, so it is going to work in the similar way. Through the type into, you are also typing something on the web page, and through the populate, we are also typing something on the web page. But every tool has its own functionality. You can't say that you have work on one RPA tool, so you can also work on the another RPA tool. Every tool has its own functionality and features. So Power Automate Desktop is basically, this is a RPA tool. Through this, you can automate your process. Which kind of a process you can automate? You can automate the browser-based automation, browser-based applications. You can automate mainframe applications. You can automate Java-based application. Right? You can automate window-based application, and you can also automate desktop application. So all these of applications you can automate with the help of this Power Automate desktop. Power Automate desktop has its own actions. Okay. So for an example, if I show this to you, how this Power Automate desktop tool will look like. And before that, I just want to tell you that this is basically the desktop application. It means those applications for which you have to install the software into your machine. Those are basically the desktop application. So for this Power Automate desktop, you have to install the software into your machine. So now if I open this, so you will see this kind of a interface into this Power Automate desktop. Okay, this is the interface of the Power Automate desktop. And here you see this is a new flow. Like in the UI path, we create the process, right? So here we have this new flow. So once you click on this new flow, it will ask you, tell me your flow name. And once you enter this flow name here, and once you click on this create, then your flow will get created and all your created flow will be listed into this flows panel. And like here, I have just created this one. So here you can see this is basically the flow interface. In the left hand side, you will see all these predefined actions are here, right? All these predefined actions are here. I can use any of the actions from this as per my requirement. So this left panel is basically known as the action panel. Okay, this is basically the action panel. This mid section is basically known as a canvas window or canvas area, or this is also called it as a workflow window. Okay, this one. And this right side is basically known as a variable panel. Okay, variable panel. So here you will see that whatever the variables are generated through the actions, or if you have created any variables also, so that will get reflect into this right hand side panel. Okay, so this is basically the variables panel. Yes, so Sid has a question. UI is a free tool. Is this also the free tool or it is need a license? So basically, you can get this one into your Office 365 account. Okay, I will also tell you that how you can download it from for this Power Automate desktop. Okay, that also I will just guide it to you. Because if you see the Power Platform, which I told you, this complete package comes under the Office 365 account. So you should have the Office 365 accounts, and from there you can download it. And this is basically not having the trial version. You can use it for a long time. Okay, this one. So now here, if you see in the left hand side, you can see all these actions. If you expand this example, I just want to work on the basis of some conditional statement. It means the if else condition, switch case statement, right? So here you can see in the conditional, you will see all the things which are related to your conditional flows, right? So using the if else condition, case condition, default case, right? All things are here. If you want to work with a loop, so everything is contained within this loop actions itself. For loop, for each loop, while conditional, right? Loop conditions and so on. And here also, if you see the scripting is also this one that you can use it if you want to run your process with the help of this Power Shell script or Python script or the .NET. So you can also use this one. And all these products which Microsoft has created into this Power Platform, these products are basically having the functionality of LC NC. LCNC is what? This is low code technology or no code technology, because everything is a predefined and we have to drag and drop and we have to automate our flow. So it means I'm not writing a single line of a script. Everything is a predefined for us and we are dragging and dropping and we are creating the flow. So it means it contains no code technology. And why do we say the low code? The low code is that they have also given you the functionality that if you want to automate your process with the help of writing the code or writing the scripting, so in that case, you can leverage this scripting actions over here. For an example, if you want to automate a process and you think so that, okay, if I will drag the actions here, so I just need to drag the 20 actions over here and then I will be able to automate this process. But if you think, okay, I'm aware from this Python script, and in the Python, if I will write the 8 to 9 line of a code, then it will execute the same way. So what I can do is I can use this run Python script and I can write the code of the Python and I can run it from this Power Automate desktop applications. Okay. So now they have also given you this functionality that any of these scripting you can also use or call into this Power Automate applications. Here, all these file and folders activities are here. Okay. The same as well as you see in the UI path, right? You have this main page from where all your flows are going to run. The same here into this Power Automate, you have this main page. And if you click on this run button, this play button, so all your actions will execute which you have created into your main flow. But if you just want to create the subflow, like in the UI path, you create the sequence, right? The sub pages you create it and you call it into the main page. In the similar way, we can also create the sub pages here by clicking on this drop down arrow. If I will click on this drop down arrow, here you can see the new one. If you click on this new add a subflow, so here I can create this one and here I will click on the save example. I click on this. So here this subflow one has been created. So I can create the individual pages as well and I can call all those individual pages into my main page here. Okay, simply we have to drag and drop, nothing else. Example, if I just go for this message box and here if I drag this display message into this canvas, so once you will release it, so now it will ask you the required input parameters. So it is asking to you, tell me the message box title. Okay, so here if you see in this message box, either I can hard code this message also, or if you want to call that message from any of the variable value, right? So you will see this select variable options. I can call this from any of the variables. So example, I just want to give the message like this is welcome message. This is the title I'm just giving. Okay. And here in this display message, I say, hi all, welcome to Power Automate demo session. Okay. And I say, thank you. I given like this. And now if I click on this, simply save it. So now here you can see it is created. And here automatically this variable has created on the right hand side. This variable is most important if you want to use the value of this variable into the upcoming actions. So now if I just want to execute, so I have a choice, either I can do the right click and run it from here, or if I will just simply click on this play button, so now it will start execution. So it will execute all these actions which I have just given into this main page here. Okay, so once you will just execute, so it will start executing and it should give the message to you where it will be print that hi all, welcome to Power Automate demo session. Okay, this one. So all these variables will get generated here, but it is also your choice. If you do not want to generate this one, right? If you do not want to generate any of the variable, we can also stop that one. Okay. This one. It will not take much time. Okay. It might be my system is a bit slow today. So here, once I will just execute, so here it will just execute in very fast manner. And we have also one thing that we can make our process. Here is a functionality that if we want to execute this all these actions in very fast manner, then we can also execute. And in the if I just want to go for the in the short duration, if I just want to execute, we can also do that. And here you can see this one. Hi all, welcome to this Power Automate demo sessions. Thank you. This kind of a message box will get appear. Okay. And see here, if I'm just clicking on OK, so this OK value is going to store into this variable in this button pressed. Okay. So if I click on this OK, so now here you can see in this variable, it is stored that value. See, this is OK, right? So I can drag any of the action over here, correct? For an example, if I just want to read some data from the Excel file, so what I can do is I can use these Excel actions, right? So now here in this UI path, what we do, first of all, we have to set the scope of the applications, right? Then we read the data. And here, that is basically the launch Excel. First of all, we have to launch the Excel. And here, example, I'm just going for this open the following document that I have the one Excel file from where I just need to read the data. So example, I just want to read the data from this customer data file. So I just need the path of this. So I'm just keeping this copy as a path and I'm just pasting here. Okay. Double code is not required. Or you can select the file by clicking on this select file browse options. Okay. Now, this file launch Excel is going to create the Excel instance. Okay. So Excel instance is basically used when you want to segregate the Excels if you are working on the multiple Excels file. So this is basically only the indicator you can say, or this is basically the thing which is going to bifurcate or segregate your multiple Excels file. So now if I just click on the save and I want to read the data. So I will drag this read from Excel here, and here the Excel instance from which Excel I want to read the data. It is showing this here, and we have a multiple ways to read this one. Okay. So in demo session, I'm just going with this all available values from the worksheet, and we have the multiple options and we have a different conditions into this one in which scenario we have to go for this. Now here, I simply clicked on this, and before I just go for this one, I'm just opening this read from Excel. So it is going to hold the data into this Excel data variable. Okay. And we can also rename that one. Okay. So if I just run this here, so it will open this Excel file and it will read the data from there. Okay. So it will open this Excel file, which is located here, and it will open this one and it will read all the data from that Excel file and which will be placed into this Excel data variable. Okay. So here we have just given this path, right? That this file data we just need to go for. We have hard coded the path. We also have the functionality. We can give the browse option. And now here, if you observe carefully, so it is also telling you into this variable that 10 rows and the 2 columns are captured. Okay. So now let's see. I just want to see the data. So you can double click on this variable, which is Excel data variable, and your data has been captured. This one. If you see, we have the same data here. Okay. Now my requirement is that if you see the headers is considering as a rows here, right? Name and sales. And your column is coming as a column 1 and column 2. But I want my first row is actually the header. So what I just need to do if I just want to get this name in place of column 1 and sales in place of column 2. So in this case, what I will do, you have to go into this read from Excel worksheet. You have to open this section. Okay. And in this action, you have this functionality. If you go into this advanced, you can see you have to check this line. First line of a range contains the column names. And now if I save it, and now if I will run this again, so it will reset my variable and it will open this file. It will read the data from that Excel file. And now this time the header will come perfectly on the first row. Open the file and see, it says 9 rows and 2 columns. If I just open this one, see the headers is coming on the top, right? So now this is pretty straightforward, but only you should be aware from this that which action you have to use into which kind of a scenario, and what are the input parameters do we have, and each in which scenario we should use this one. Okay. So all the things are predefined. The browser automation, if you just want to go for, so now you can see launch the browser, create the new tab, go to the web page, right? And the web data extractions related, if you want to extract the single value or the multiple value or the selected range, right? Or the table which is existing on the web page, if you just want to go with, you can use this web related automations, right? This close browser, lot of the things are given over here which we can leverage into automations. And here we do not need to install or configure any of the packages, right? So everything is a predefined here which we can use it. And also if you want to automate this SAP application, the SAP, so here all these things are related to SAP automations which we can go for, right? And many more. We have the OCR engine related. We have the OCR automations, optical character recognition, the PDF automations, the FTP, XML, all these things are here. Okay. So we can leverage this one. So this is basically completely this Power Automate. Okay. Where we can leverage all these functionalities. Okay. So this Power Automate desktop basically we use where we want to automate any kind of these applications. Okay. But if I talk about this Power Automate Cloud, so Power Automate Cloud, as I say, it's a cloud. So cloud is basically, it is a browser based application. Okay. It is browser based application. And for this one, you do not need to install this software into your system. This is already on the cloud. You have to log in on the cloud and you can use the cloud functionality. But now the question arises, in which scenario we should use this Power Automate desktop? In which scenario we should use this Power Automate cloud? So Power Automate desktop, I have told you that if you want to automate any of the process, then in any of these applications, then you can leverage the functionality of this Power Automate desktop. But if I just give you a such kind of a scenario that where I just want to get it, the flow should be triggered automatically. For an example, suppose there is a payroll team. Okay. There is a payroll team, and this payroll team process the payment for the vendors on the 7th of each month. Now, they just need to process the payment on the 7th of each month, but also they have the certain cases which they check while releasing the payment. The first thing is that there should be the invoice copy into the PDF format. If vendor is sending the invoice copy to release the payment, it should be into the PDF format. This is one case. Second is that the PDF should be less than 10 MB size. Okay. Because when this payroll person is going to process the payment, that person needs to upload the invoice copy into the PDF for that respective vendor. And that software only support the PDF extension file and should have the less than 10 MB. So for an example, if I say there are basically the 500 vendors who share the invoice copy for releasing the payment. So now this person will receive actually the 500 emails every month. And for an example, if any of the vendors has sent the file which is not meeting with this condition, so this payroll person has to respond to the vendor individually that you have not given the correct PDF format. This file size is more than the 10 MB, right? This kind of. So now here in this case, what I can do is I can just create a flow which is basically the automated cloud flow. Okay, automated cloud flow. So what will happen when any of the vendor will send the email to this payroll team? Okay, there will be obviously the email ID. For example, if I say the email ID is Anoop at the rate example, I say test.com. So now when this vendor will send the email on this ID, so as the email will hit into my mailbox, automatically it will check both the conditions in the backend, and if any of the condition is not matching, immediately it will revert to the vendor without any manual intervention. Automatically it will trigger. And this is basically 24 by 7 it will execute because it is placed on the cloud. Okay. So if you want to create a such kind of a automated trigger, for example, if you have a SharePoint list, and if you are storing every details on the SharePoint list, and if you think so that if any new item is added into my SharePoint list, or if any item is modified into my list, then automatically the user should get notified. So in that case, also you can create this Power Automate Cloud Flow. Okay, you can also use this Power Automate Cloud Flow for creating the approval process. Okay, approval process, you can create this one. So we have a lot of the things into this Power Automate Cloud Flow. We can create this automated cloud flow. We can create the instant cloud flow. Instant cloud flow is basically when user has to run it manually, right? So here we have one is automated cloud flow, where user intervention is not required. It will automatically trigger your actions on the basis of your given conditions. Second is instant cloud flow. So instant cloud flow is basically which is basically the button click actions. Okay. So it means whenever user want to execute, then instant cloud flow will work. Example, if I say whenever I want to run my flow, then it should trigger only. So I will create this instant cloud flow. The third one, we have the scheduled flow. If you want to put the some kind of a scheduler, you want to run a flow on the defined time or predefined time. Example, you want to send the reminder to the multiple people on each month from 1 to 6 that please send the invoice copy to us. So in that case, I will set a reminder which is scheduled flow. I will just create from 1 to 6. So every month from 1 to 6, it will trigger the email. Okay. So now for an example, if you see here, this is. So this is basically the flow you will be able to see. So here, if I just click on this home page, so this is basically the interface. And if I just click on this create, so you can see automated cloud flow, instant cloud flow, scheduled cloud flow, and so on. And desktop automations for that tool, you can download it from here. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the some scenario on this, how I have created this flow. So I'm just telling you one of the example. So in this my flows, I have created a one flow in which I have used the MS Power Form, which is basically the form application. I have used the SharePoint, I have used the Outlook, and also these teams will get involved. So I have created this one of this expense flow. Okay, if I just open this one, so I will just brief you about this, what exactly this is. Okay, so in this, what my requirement is, if you see, my requirement is that I have this expense form. Okay, suppose your company is reimbursing the expenses. So into this, you have to fill the information and you have to submit it. Once you will submit this one, the person who has to approve this one, that person will receive an email, and from the email itself, that person can either approve or reject your submitted expense. So like here, I have just created this SharePoint list where my all these submitted expenses are going to store. So now here, if you see, I have created this one if any new response gets submitted, right? I'm getting this response details also. And here, this conditional flow I have just created. And here you can see the wait for an approval. And I have just given this condition that for the travel expense only less than the 100 amount will get reimbursed. Okay, so I have just created this conditional flow here. So now let me show this to you how it will work. So now here I have this SharePoint list also, and here you can see all the details are going to submit. So when the fresh request will get submitted, it will be in the submitted status. So example, I'm just submitting this one 1011. Employee name, I say Anu. Then IT department, expense is the travel expense, and expense date, suppose I say 2nd of December. Expense amount is $85. Description, I say travel expense, okay, on client visit. Okay, example, for example, I just given this one. So now as soon I just click on the submit, see, it is done. Now, if you go into your SharePoint list, here, if I just refresh this SharePoint list, so here, if you see in the bottom, look, here, this record has been submitted. And see, travel expense on the client, I have just given this one, correct? And it is into which stage? See, it is into the submitted status. I told you when the first it will get submit, so it will be in the submit status. So how this stage will get changed? It will get changed only when the somebody will take the action on it. Either it is approved or the reject. So now if I just go into the mailbox here, so see, I have received this email and my submitted information I'm just getting. See, employee ID, then the name, department, whatever I have just filled on the form, right? And I'm just getting the button of the submitted, approve, and the reject, correct? So I can take the action directly from here. Okay, and you can also mention the comment why you are approving, why you are rejecting. You can just go for that also. So I have just clicked on the submit. Okay, so I have rejected this one. Now, if you go into your SharePoint list and simply you just refresh this one, so here you can see it converted into the rejected status. Look for this one. It is into the rejected state. Correct? So these kind of a flows you can automate. And if you just go into the SharePoint, into the Teams also, then you can see that one. Okay, see in the Teams also, it will show this to you. All these approvals which I have just done here, I'm able to see this one. And see, this is the latest one I have just submitted, right? And here you can see, look, when it is rejected, when it was requested, when it was submitted, when it is rejected. And multi-level approval also we can go for. Example, the 3-level approvals, right? So we can also go for that one. So in the Teams also, it will get notify, and you can also save this as a PDF. If you want to share with someone that your approval request has been rejected or this approved, you can see this one, this status directly on the Teams. So it is integrated with the Teams also. Okay. So you do not need to check your mail every time. From here also, you can see this one. It is approved or rejected. Okay. So like here, if this expense is approved, so now here you can see this is approved for this one on this date and this time. Right. So here, this is basically the concept, and this is basically the purpose where you can use this flow. And here you can see the run history also. Okay, so if I just click on this, simply click on refresh. So see, before the 2 minutes ago, I have just executed this flow, and I can extract all this history whenever it is needed and how much time it has taken, the duration, and you can see everything. Okay, so this is overall the idea about this one. And from here, we can share the flows and everything. Okay. So this is all about the concept about this Power Automate. So I hope you understood in this scenario you have to automate, use the Power Automate desktop, and in this scenario you have to use the Power Automate cloud. Right? Understood everyone? Yeah. So we are left with a 3 minutes. Yeah,
Where we publish these Power Automate desktop workflows.
correct. So once you just publish this Power Automate desktop, so it will reflect here. into desktop flows. So automatically it will come here. If you have logged in, I have logged in this with a different account and this is a different account. So if you have logged in your Power Automate desktop with the same login credentials, so all your flows which you have created, that will reflect under this desktop flows here. Your cloud flows will come into this cloud flows sections, and desktop which you have created in RPA, that will come under this desktop flows. And from here, you can share that flow with anyone now. Anyone.
Okay. So, like in UiPath, we have orchestrator, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like that. So, what about the production environment?
Yes. So here, if you see on the top of it, can you see this environment? This one, right?
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this is the
Huh.
environment where we are just publishing this one. So here we do not have the separate orchestrator like the UiPath or the Blue Prism like the control room. We do not have.
Mm.
Everything is placed in the into the single place itself.
Okay, got
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Thank you.
yes.
Mm.
And if anyone has shared the flows with you, either that is a cloud flows or desktop flows, you will see into this shared with me. So as of now, it is blank because no one has shared with me this one. So it is blank. But if somebody has shared with anyone, so you will be able to see it over here.
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Okay. So this is all about this Power Automate desktop and Power Automate cloud. And this is very in very high demand. We are, it is solving a lot of the problem, lot of the real challenges for us. Okay.
And one more question, Anup. So, this power automation is not suitable for complex business process like
Th-
UiPath?
this is so guys, can we request if you join with the same link, as we have a less than a minute, so I can just answer your query as well.
Sure.
Just okay, please join with the same link.
Yeah.
Thank you.